You rolling? Okay, so metric answers in whatever order you put them in. Deca, D-E-C-I, that's a little d, and that's a 1/10. Centa, C-E-N-T-I, that's a little c, that's a fraction, 1/100th. Milli, M-I-L-L-I, it's a little m, that's a fraction, 1,000th. Micro, M-I-C-R-O, that's the Greek m, and that's a millionth, or 10 to the negative 6. Nano, N-A-N-O, it's a little n, and that's a billionth, 10 to the negative 9. While we're in that style, let's go pico, P-I-C-O, that's a little p, that's 10 to the negative 12. And then femto, F-E-M, like M&M candy, that's a little f, that's 10 to the negative 15th. And then we'll call it timeout for any of the ones that were fractions.
If they have the symbol and the number right,
Yeah.
but they don't have the name right, do we
Then
just mark the name?
-1.
What's the
That's an extra
third
one.
one and the fifth one?
I don't know.
Like,
Million nano.
yeah,
I don't know what you mean by the third one.
Like that you said.
1/100.
100th was centa, C-E-N-T-I.
1/1000.
1000th was milli, M-I-L-L-I. Anybody else on the fraction he wants?
For the bonus, is it +3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whole number stuff, deca, D-E-C or D-E-K-A, D-A or D-K, that's a 10. 100 is hecto, H-E-C-T-O. 1,000 is kilo, K-I-L-O, it's a little k. If I didn't say hecto, it's a little h. Million is mega, M-E-G-A, that's a big M. 10 to the 6, if you like that better. Billion, 10 to the 9, that's giga, G-I-G-A, that's a capital G. Anybody need any help scoring?
Can deca be spelled with a C?
Yeah, deca can be a C or a K,
Okay,
yep. As long as there's an A after it. Scoring questions, anything? Then let's pull out homeworks. We got
It's at a
backlog.
36.
We usually
Really?
get backlog.
Which one's in this?
It's been a few days since I collected any homework.
There's like 12.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So the first one, if you can locate it, and give a double check that you have everything on there before you send it down and potentially waste my time by me just having to give it back to you. It had number 4 on it, which might need a question. In an average group of people, somebody would want to ask about 4 because the answer's not in the back. In an average group of people, somebody would probably want to ask about 3 because it's not in the back. But in an above average group of people, maybe not, I don't know. But I would think an average group of people, I'd get a question about 3, a question about 4. It also included 2 A, B, C, D. It also included 1 A through G. The 1 A through G is mostly just writing down definitions from the quiz. The 2 A, B, C, D is mostly just writing down definitions from a quiz. But 3 and 4 would be debatable. Does anybody need any guidance to accomplish the mission on 1, A to G, 2, A to D, 3, 4? Does anybody need my input into your life?
I didn't do 3 or 4 because I didn't understand one.
Okay, so 3, a platform balance would be like an old time scale, like from Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail when they decided that the lady weighed the same as the duck. Picture of that would be found, look with me on page 19 and look at picture A. Okay, that's called a platform balance. So what they're looking for you to do on 3A is, in your own words, explain how did Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail know the witch weighed the same as the duck? How could you look at 13A and know how much mass that blue stuff had? Can you do that from there? Is that enough of a tip?
And that's the same for.
And then 13, for 3B, you're looking at the picture B on that same page, and you're going, the triple beam balance is kind of like the old school 1980s doctor kind of scale. And when we did the video for 2-3, I did do sort of an explanation how a triple beam balance worked. So you could grab that from that video.
Is that the one that goes back 15, then back 10, and then back 1?
Correct.
Okay.
So you just find a way to kind of put that into your own words for that beam picture. Anybody need me to say more stuff about 3? Like I said, in an average group of people, somebody's going to want to ask about 3 and get that clarity. So now it's on the video and we're good. Is there anybody that needs clarity on 4? Okay, so how about anybody in the room other than me? There's a loophole on 4 that they're asking us to be critical of the way they said this. Why on 4, anybody, can we be critical of their sentence?
Because
That's not a triple beam balance, it measures mass. not
Yeah,
weight.
correct. So the beam balance should measure mass, not weight. Or another take would be weight should be measured not in grams, masses. We don't know what we're measuring weight in yet this year. Physics people know maybe what we measure weight with, but they're asking us to criticize that because weight versus grams and weight versus beam balances, those they don't go together. Anybody else need help on that assignment? Okay, so if it's on its own page, do one last quick check. Make sure you did 4. Make sure you did 3, A and B. Make sure 2, you did A, B, C, D. Make sure 1, you did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if that's all collected, send it. If it's on a page with other things, you've got to keep it as we continue to talk. Last call, 3, 4 based stuff before we go on. Okay. 5 to 10. 5 to 10 had to do with significant digits. So if you've been in physics, you'll have more of a comfort level than people that are in 11th grade and didn't do physics yet and haven't done the rules before. In an average group, if you vigilantly do what you should, which is do the problems and then look in the back, you will probably have some things in the back that you'll think, what just happened? Why did they round there? Why did they round and get an even number when traditional math rounding would have not gotten an even number? Like, why does this have 3 significant digits when I'm looking at 5 total digits? Like, there should be in an average group some moments where people are just like, what is happening when you look in the back? But that only can be done if you did them on your own and then looked in the back and then made a note to yourself that says, like, as we say, words. What just happened? 5 to 10 is significant digits. 2 other little specs on that. There's a 1H and a 1I. Where 1H you explain significant digits and 1I you explain exact numbers, but then we put that into usage 5 to 10. Is there anybody on the 5 to 10 who's having any what just happened sort of lifestyle moments when you check them? That tells me one of 3 things. You either didn't do it, or you didn't do it very carefully, or you are a very above average group, which I find is the least likely scenario. No, you're a nice group of people, but this is always a nice group of diligent people, and I would normally expect to get some questions 5 to 10. Not than 5 to 10. All the people on the video curse you because they want information that they're not going to maybe get on the video. Then the last bit of this had to do with exponents, exponential notation, scientific notation. This goes 11 to 18. Well, let's do that backtracking. 5 to 10, if those are done, 5 to 10 and the 1H, 1I, send those down also, just people at the ends, if you can keep those in their own little pile.
So mine are front and back.
What's that?
Mine are front and back.
That's all right. Just put
Which
it,
pod do you want to do?
put it with the first one, but make sure that I know to turn the page. Like draw an arrow or something for me.
I haven't done these, but I do have a question
Okay?
on 5 to 10.
Yes, someone watching this video someday will rejoice over any question that is asked.
For F on number 6, that last 0, you would only count the 1, 2, 5, right?
Correct, yeah. If for a whole number, Zeros at the right edge are called place holding zeros, and those don't count toward our significant digit count. Unless they have a bar on them, which changes the name of the game. Anybody else 5 to 10 issues? So we'll send those if they're good. Then the last group is a 1J, 1K, 1L, where you're just listing some definitions that shouldn't be a big fuss. There's an 11 to 18, which I think is less challenging than 5 to 10. And then there's a chapter quiz, doing chapter quiz 2A, which is short. Chapter quiz 2A, I would expect more questions over time in history and past, present, and future on probably 1 or 2 or 3 compared to 4. Because 4 you could just push buttons, but maybe on 4 you need a reminder of which buttons to even push and how to change your mode. Remember we did that the other day, we had to change our mode. But 11 to 18, chapter quiz, little bit of specs on 1, JKL,
So, for 18,
yeah.
the answer in the back of the book was like 3.65 times 10 to the 10th.
Okay.
How is that to the 10th?
So I'm thinking you're going to need parentheses. That doesn't seem right. For 18A?
D.
D.
Sorry,
D.
D.
Okay. Yeah. I would agree with that. Because on 18D, if you're trying to just use machinery, I'd go parentheses, scientific notation thing, wrap it up, power button, third.
Yeah.
But if we think through it in our mind, the 3 times the 3 times the 3 is going to 27, which is over 10, and it's going to need you to play an adjustment game. 10 to the third is up to 10 to the 9.
Okay.
You want me to rewind a second?
No, I
So you're in the 20s times 10 to the 9, then you play that game we used to play where we modify the 1 number by making it down from the 20s into like the 2s or 3s, and then the power has to raise to like offset pay for that. So you go up from 9 to 10.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Yes.
If you just go parentheses around the scientific
Because
notation.
then it would be like, you'd be in like the 20s for that decimal.
Like 20s or maybe even 30, something like that. Yeah, the 3 times 3 times 3 part's going to be at least 27, probably more than that because it's 3.6. So
Yeah.
3.6 times 3.6 times 3.6.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. Is that enough?
Yes.
Anybody else, anything about 11 to 18? An average group of people might not have too many questions about the 11 to 18. 5 to 10 is where you guys right now are scaring me. I think you're going to get clobbered on the test on that section if you're in 11th grade. Nothing I can do to avoid your clobber for you. Maybe my lack of confidence is misguided. Maybe you're super sick big geniuses. I don't know. But there's usually more issues on that than what I'm being presented with today. That's why today usually exists as a day to fix those issues. I can't coax out any more questions, 5 to 10 especially. You're gonna regret that, I think, Caleb. I said they're gonna regret that.
They are.
Oh, I thought you said you were.
No, they are. You're a 12th grader who survived physics. You should have the upper hand. All right, so if you have that one done, send that one down. And then just a reminder, when we phase into tomorrow, the metric quizzes are retired. And where we are is a 2.8 quiz, which I described on the previous video. When we did 2.7, it shrank a good bit from, it was 42 points last time we took a quiz. We're down to 25. I think it had 1 new point. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 new point. And then I trimmed down a lot of the old stuff that we had seen day after day after day after day. We're almost at chapter end. There is a 2.9, which would be the Wednesday job. And then we'll read some of those boxes on the Wednesday job. But the end of the chapter is in sight, which means a chapter test is coming soonish. Probably not this week. That's probably a beginning of next week kind of thing, because it'll take us a little while to finish this chapter and review. But the end of chapter 2 is semi-near. Last call. Guess we're shutting that down and getting some scores.